All right, and we are back for our next SPL coach interview. This time we are talking to one of the commissioners, Mr. Pokeem MD, and I'm sure most of the viewers kind of know a little bit about what you do content-wise, but maybe they aren't so familiar with your VGC/doubles experience. If you want to talk a little bit about that and intro yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Joey. Play a lot of Pokemon. I uploaded. I love Mons. I don't play a lot of VGC specifically, but I have played doubles. Last year, I played in the official Smogon doubles tournament, and I got to top eight. That was my first time ever playing, and I only lost to the person who was giving me builds every single week and told me to join the tournament. I didn't have my builder at the end, so I couldn't win without the builder. But I've been to a few VGC regionals, usually on a whim, like a week or two before. I'm like, this was back then when they were smaller, so you could actually get into a tournament a week or two before it actually started. Now you have to sign up within 5 minutes, or they're closed out. But which is a good thing, VGC getting bigger. Hopefully, there's more space even there for that. But I don't play it a lot. But I am friends with a lot of big VGC content creators, and I do enjoy using Pokemon in a different way, which is why I play a bunch of different tiers. So VGC should be just a lot of fun. Hopefully, just another extension of draft. I'm mainly looking at this like draft, less VGC, more draft. Because draft
Yeah.
is all about prep, and I feel like this is the same thing.
And with that being said, what are your main goals for the season?
To land all my fissures, my sheer colds, to double team and make some VGC players rage quit, minimize for sure, put multiple Pokemon to sleep, and not break item claws because we are playing with item claws. I actually kind of like that for draft itself, but
Yeah.
mainly I want to abuse what is there, what I don't think should be there, and I want to use Pokemon that I've used in the past. Not all of them, but I want to use certain Pokemon that I've used in the past in a different light. I've used the Pokemon certain ways. I've won with some of the Pokemon on my team at certain championships, but I want to use this. This is also a really good refresher for me. I felt a little burnt out playing 9 weeks in the BBR plus playoffs plus the 1 week break. So I'm very much looking forward to a different type of way to play.
Yeah, it'll be a good change of pace for sure. And then you kind of mentioned with the like rule breaks, or I guess not rule breaks, but more so rule differences that like you find in like the VGC side of things versus like the singles/Smogon draft type of things. And so, is there anything like because you mentioned like with like the rules in mind, but like how are you approaching like constructing your team for this one?
I have a friend, Tony Flagon, very, very strong player in doubles, VGC specifically. And we kind of just go through it. We have a whole draft doc and prep doc, and we're kind of like, okay, this is the mon I want. These are the mons I particularly want. This is what matches up well with it. This gives us strong spread damage. This gives us strong offensive type synergy, intimidate, punishing, a ghost type, grass type, speed control, ground immunity, fake out, beat up, multi hit, redirection, etc., etc. So we kind of have like a list of things we're going through and what we are with the team. But at the same time, I've been sniped a billion times, obviously. It's 20 people in one draft. But also at the same time, we're kind of just like using, okay, what do I want to use that's fun, but also fits that role? So my whole game plan is to get obviously some strong Pokemon that are, I guess, strong points wise. Like, I guess the better Pokemon you will say are worth more. I don't think that's always true. I think there's a lot of steals in this actually. But I am also looking for the low pointers that will help me and fit specifically with my team. There's a lot of mods that people think are really bad. I mean, they were talking about, let's say, Skyman. I'm not saying I'm getting Skyman, but they were talking about Skyman and SPL, how bad it is. But with my team, particularly, is this going to go up after or before?
Um, I am unsure if it's gonna go up like right. I was thinking like before draft analyses, but after like the league is announced, kind of like tease into it.
Cool. So my first pick in particular works really well with Skyman because of things that Skyman could do. So I was listening to them saying, "Oh, Skyman's terrible." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, but I can get it and show it works." So I'm not saying I'm getting Skyman, but my goal is to obviously not only abuse the rules, but also just use really cool Pokemon in a way that, even BGC players look at it differently. Because I know my team, how I know my team, and it's gonna look really bad, and I'm very excited to get wins with it. Like I'm telling you, bro, even you would be like, "What is this trash?" Like,
Yeah.
hey, shoot, man. When I have a win on the board,
And I
let
know
it
like
let it
the
cook.
VGC players probably are like sleeping on like a Skyman, especially like Skyman's never legal for them because like it's a mythical, and I'm not
To
gonna
say it's
spoil
bad
anything.
when
Yeah.
they're saying that in theory, but like look at Skyman. Like first off, it's gonna be a mandatory covert cloak most likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're doing spit up dropper like that. Um, bullet seed multi hit move if you have like Archaludon's ability or whatever, which is what I was obviously looking at with my first mon. Not to say that I'm getting Skyman, but uh, also like just natural high speed and Tailwind. Like it's the fastest Tailwinder of natural speed. So I think that's really cool. I think it also is the fastest Tailwinder of natural speed. Not counting abilities,
Yeah.
booster energy, roaring moon, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think that you have to look at Pokemon a lot differently. It was just interesting to see them talk about how why is this mon good, why is this mon bad. When we were all in that call talking about it, I was like, you got to think about it like draft, dude. You're used to they. One thing that I thought was really funny was when Joe said Enamorus is trash. And I was like, you think Enamorus is trash because every single one of you has the ability to run Flutter Mane all at the same time. When Flutter Mane's gone, this Pokemon that is still very strong, has Earth power, right? I can actually Terra Blast, Fly Stab if you want to here. Like, why is it bad? So it's just like I'm excited to see how they adapt to draft, but I'm also excited to see if they change their minds on certain mons and like, learn to respect a few of them. Also, I love being on the draft board and just clicking on a random mon, making people think it's mine.
Yeah, I think it's just like because I've been like able to be like a little bit of like a fly on the wall, kind of like see everyone's discussions and like especially because like it's 20 people. I don't think I've ever seen like a VGC league have 20 people drafting from one pool. So it's like some of these mons are gonna need to like the entire top end of the board's gonna get picked, and a lot of the value is gonna have to come from like the cheaper mons, and so it's gonna be interesting seeing how like everyone wants to analyze. Like, are they just gonna get like pre-evolved forms of what they know works, or are they gonna like try to innovate?
And that's the game plan here. Like literally, the mon that got me into starting this draft league was because Tony Flagon was helping me prep for my other draft leagues and my singles ones, and he would show me his replays of his draft, and he'd show me Substrika killing people, and I was like, all right, yep, I'm gonna start. SPL season 3 is gonna be VGC. I've decided. Like if I go to the admin chat, and I think if I scroll up just maybe a month, I'm like, all right, Shuckle, let's do VGC. Like literally it's like let's just do it. I was so excited after seeing these Substriker replays that I'm like, that mon was worth I think 2 points or 1 point in his draft league, and I was like, okay, let's absolutely do it, because we were on the fence about what we wanted to do for the next season, and yeah, that literally 11/25. If National Dex isn't out, let's do VGC in February, easy. Like that was
Awesome.
literally it. That was the day he showed me his replays. It's like, yep, F it, we're doing VGC.
I've gotten a chance to use like Bayonet in like draft VGC, which has been like, because you don't think about Bayonet ever in like standard draft, but the VGC side, and it was like, oh, I was using Frisk, which is like there's item clause, so now all of a sudden I know where the covert cloak is and stuff like that. Made like the rest of my game plan so much easier.
That's so sick. And it also has like cool things like Scary Face, Icy Wind, Fake Out. No, it doesn't have Fake Out. I was thinking about Mega Bayonet also sounds really fire with that too. Yeah, Willow and things like that too. Encore, yeah.
Love and that's your 1-pointer or like 2-pointer or something like that.
Yeah, and you're getting and it has Trick Room too. Like you're getting value out of that. Dude, there's a lot of 1-pointers in this that I think are like kind of insane. I was like they have obviously a lot of the babies down here, but there's some babies that are really good. Like if this is going up before, I guess let me see if I can find it. Is it the 1-pointer? No, it's Yanma is 1 point. And dude has Compound Eyes, Hypnosis, and Tailwind. Like that is value. That is literally value. So I just think there's a lot that can not Tailwind. Is it Tailwind on this guy?
Yeah, on Yanma, yeah.
Yeah. Yanma is Tailwind and Hypnosis. Like that's so there's so much value from that you can get from these mons. And it's also not that weak. Like and it's fast. I think that's the big thing, right? It's base 95 speed. So I know players were using this as well in VGC. Like I don't keep up with a lot, but I do sometimes watch a little bit. So like there's just a lot, and it also has Faint. Like, bro, this is such a cool support mon for 1 point. So there's a lot of potential there. So I'm excited to see how people change up and like what they do. So it's really interesting to see the conversations and just like, okay, yeah, that's what y'all think. All right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And the next question that I wanted to ask was, what's your favorite format that you've ever played? Because this is VGC draft. It's going to be something a little bit different. You've been playing competitively for a very long time, at least relative to like me and how long I've been playing. So like, what's the favorite format you've ever played? And then maybe if you also want to throw a bone, what's the favorite like draft format you've ever played?
So my favorite draft specifically format.
Yeah.
Uh, it might have been. I'm trying to think. It might be just lower tier. Like I love low tier in general. I think it's really really cool. I love seeing Mons, like the P4G. I believe it was the P4G was a lower tier
Yeah.
that I did that I won with the Regieleki. Like that was so fire, dude. I loved Regieleki and using like Inteleon with its snipe shot plus scope lens and all that stuff. I love that. I absolutely love that. So that was definitely one of my favorite. I like draft back then, but I don't know. Back then it was different. I wish I had a better understanding of, or I wish I was more open to doing mocks and stuff back then. Because I feel like I would have loved my Pokemon. That sounds weird, but I would have loved my Pokemon more, and I think I also would have won more back then as well.
Yeah.
A lot of times now, I feel like I lose because at least as of recent, like I get burnt out. But like when like sometimes I just stumble into playoffs and I'm like okay, whatever. But obviously when it comes to finals, I actually try like hard, and I get very lucky too. But it's sometimes just difficult to keep that motivation. So I'm gonna say lower tier because lower tier was sick and I had so many cool. My team was broken as hell, but also maybe I'll become VGC. Who knows?
Yep.
Who knows?
Hopefully it's like VGC draft, SPL does it, because I know last gen WBE did it, and then there was a huge influx of like on the Showdown side VGC draft. So I'm hoping SPL does it, and then Showdown stays strong, and also Wi-Fi starts continuously
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
VGC
yeah.
draft. Kind of get to
I know
pave the way,
WB
which is
did WB
nice.
did both, like
Yeah.
literally both at the same time. That'd be interesting to run a division like that. I don't know if we can get enough players, if we're big enough, and I don't even know which one I play. Because last time I ran the singles when A Drive one ran the doubles one, obviously, while I was running singles. It was interesting. I wouldn't mind doing something like that again too in the future,
Yeah.
especially because if I want to see how that's another thing. I'm like this is like a test too. I want to see how this goes because VGC is obviously very, very, very popular on Wi-Fi, right? Very, very, very popular in general right now too. We got people like Wolf, Cybertron, James, etc., Moxie. So I'm excited to see how this goes specifically, which is why I wanted to do it with SPL, which was my and Shuckle League, and hopefully it's the better for the game in general. And then on top of that, hopefully we can play some in Legends ZA. It's definitely not gonna have any battling, but
Who knows
maybe
at this
Gen 10.
point?
Yeah, literally.
And the Switch 2 coming out as well. Hopefully it's better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully it leads to even more growth on the draft side of things.
I'm saying, what I'm really hoping for is in Gen 10, we actually get the timer right away. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it took forever. It took years of begging. I was right there. It took years of saying, Pokemon, please. Finally got an update. We finally got an update, and I was like, all right, let's keep it that way, I guess. I don't know. I'm just hoping that we see something more from this. I don't know. I'm really just hoping because I'm such a big fan of being able to play on Wi-Fi. I'm even opening up a second channel. This is going up in probably February, right? Yeah. So at this point, I think I opened up already a second channel where I'm literally just playing with my friends and edited content and all that stuff too, just because I want to be able to do this even more. But yeah, we'll see. I just want the days where I can head online and just play with my friend and not have a timer to worry about. That's all I want. That's why I'm
Yeah.
also excited about VGC for that reason.
Because like the competitions, they're nice. At least like we can do the timers, but obviously it'd be better if it was just like don't have to even worry about
Yeah,
those.
you ready? You ready? Yeah, online. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I think it'd make the game even more accessible.
100%.
Yeah, and then getting into my next prepared question, I've gotten the chance to ask everyone this: what's your favorite mon competitively, and then what's your just favorite mon overall if they're different?
Overall, Suicune. Love Suicune, and actually, it's because of competitive that I love Suicune. So I would say both. I just don't use it as much because people don't like watching it. That's actually why I stopped playing my favorite playstyle, which was stall / semi-stall back in Gen 4. I didn't upload any of it basically because people wouldn't watch as much. But yeah, I like Suicune a lot. I think it's really cool. I like the. It's not my favorite movie. The Latios movie, Pokemon Heroes is my favorite movie, and they're in my top 3 as well. It's Suicune, Latios. Those two are like second, just close to each other. No real in between. But Like the way it purifies water looks, I think it looks really cool, and I love in competitive how crazy it can be. Back in the day, Calm Mind 3 attacks with hidden power electric or grass, depending. Sub Calm Mind even has a place in ADV, what it could do in Gen 2, but specifically what it was doing in Gen 4. I had a friend that would just sweep everybody with it and upload Wi-Fi battles with it, and it's like, wow. And I watch those games all the time, and I was like, yeah, I love Suicune. This solidifies it. This is my favorite Pokemon. This is the mon I want to use. And I always brought it to Gen 4 Wi-Fi battles, always brought it on Shoddy Battle, always brought it on Pokemon Online. And it is one of my favorite mons to win with, period. Even now, I just don't use it because, again, you don't want to see me pressure stalling people. It's obviously it's changed the way it worked a bit, but it's still at the core a great Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I love that about it. Like, it can beat it. I think what I love about it is what it represents. It's a Pokemon that can beat Pokemon it's not supposed to. Right? Like, you shouldn't be beating Tapu Bulu with a mono scald Suicune. You shouldn't be beating Toxapex without rest, etc., etc. But it's just a mon. I beat Jellicent 1v1 in the tournament, and the Jellicent had taunt, and I still beat it with Suicune because the Jellicent couldn't beat me with leftovers. I was faster, and I just rest whenever taunt wore off. Like, it was just, I love that mon. And that really represents me too, because I like winning when I'm not supposed to. That's probably my favorite time to win, when I'm not supposed to, which is why I'm so excited about the VGC.
Yeah. And I think like draft even just like allows people to like win when you're not supposed to. And it's like just coming from like, especially like a showdown side of things, there's like a lot of people who are viewed as like top players, even like on Wi-Fi too. But game Pokemon, anyone can beat anyone, and any mon can beat any mon.
Yep.
I think draft
prep
helps.
Matters.
Yeah.
There's a lot, dude. Prep matters. I think mental matters a lot too in Pokemon, and I've been doing this for years. I think mental matters a lot. As well as I think knowing how to use your build and being able to react and adapt. So there's a lot that comes into it. Matchup is just one of the few things when it comes to Mons that makes a difference. So that's why I'm also like really excited about this league to see. Like, that's also why when they were talking about Skyman in the chat, I was like, because I was debating picking Skyman. It's between Skyman and something else. And obviously, my pick is right after the next pick. But I'm probably not going Skyman, but not because they said what they said, but because the other thing also looks extremely fun and I want to use it too. So we'll see. Maybe I'll end up getting.
You must have to do another VGC league to do both.
Yeah, that's the thing. You never get. They never get to use mythicals. So like,
yeah,
like it's so interesting to see Spectre A right there at 15. Or mons like that. So I'm excited. We should let Darkrai be allowed.
Oh, I mean, like I've seen it allowed. I think usually it's like Dark Void Complex, just because too much RNG. But VGC's VGC.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, bro, I'm bringing Fissure and things like that. Like, it's VGC.
Yeah.
So you can't be mad. It's gonna be really funny watching from the other side, and they have to smile if they're doing face cam.
Yeah, put on a good entertainment while Fisher.
I think they could be. I think they should be mad.
Yeah,
I think they should be mad. Like, bro, that's my whole point, right? That's like I want to show things that I think are bull, and obviously I think the better players can play around things too. But like, look at Ting Lu for instance, right? That's a good mon, period, right? AV is just really really good, and just clicking your Earthquake or your whatever the hell the mon goes for sometimes. I've seen different things. I've seen Heavy Slam, Rock Slide, etc. Payback as well, and then like I've even Ruination, stuff like that too. But you know, maybe you need that last move Fissure. You never know, and maybe you gotta throw it off. So I'm hoping to do that, but on purpose. A lot of weeks.
All right. And then, is there anyone who you want to call out before the league starts, if schedule permits, that you really want to get a battle and hopefully beat, if like any week's gonna mean more than any other, and you're gonna call someone out right here?
Can I do a call out, but not because I want to battle them?
Sure.
Like, I call out SK. I hope to avoid him for the 100th league in a row. I hope that Shuckle King and I will never ever play in draft league ever, unless it's in finals. So I'm calling you out, SK. Don't come near me.
Have you guys dodged each other every time you
every
played?
league forever since ever?
Wow.
We have never once played, and we've both made playoffs. We've never once played, ever.
Maybe
never
this
been in
week
each
will
other's
come to
thing.
an end.
I hope not.
All right. That is the end of my prepared questions list. So now I will open the floor up to you if there's any final messages you want to get off to the viewers, and then we can let them know it's a great season, check you out, and
Thank you. Well, I think some of the points are wild. It's still crazy seeing Toxapex, Skarmory in 3 points with like Quagsire, like stall, and then like you have like Latios and Latios and stuff at 13. I just think I'm get hyped, right? If you're watching this, get hyped. That's all it is, because there's so many gems in this that I just see from a draft league point of view, and I'm so excited to use them. So I hope you guys are excited to watch. Obviously, thank you so much for the interview, and make sure y'all sub to everybody. That's it. Sub to every single like, why is Palafin in the same place as regular Hoopa? That's wild. Some of these tiers are wild. I'm excited, man.
All right. Well, yeah, like Joey said, make sure to subscribe to everybody, obviously. Pokegame and the rest of the coaches will be linked down below. And yeah, we're looking forward to a great SPL season. So, peace.
Peace.